Come on in, come on in. It's part 2 of the live that I had to end. Come on in. Come on in, come on back in. I had to restart a new live, but I wanted to finish this conversation that I started about the visit to the White House. The president of South Africa visited the White House yesterday. I want to finish talking about it. Come on in, like the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Come on in. Give you some time to get the notification. We live, we live. Hassan, you free my boy Diddy Puff Daddy. Do you really think he gonna get out? I don't know. You might have to go and rescue him because I don't think he gonna get out any other kind of way. Yeah, I don't think your boy coming home. Double tap the screen like the video. Y'all come on in here. Come on in. Ramos. Free my boy. Thank you, Hassan, for the super chat. Listen, Hassan, you might have to put some money on your boy's books. He said he need the super chat. Because by the time everybody finish suing him, he gonna need that $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Diddy said it's hard out here for a pimp. It's hard. Diddy's look, them millions dwindling down. Thank you so much, Hassan. I appreciate you. Welcome. Y'all double tap the screen, hit the like button. It don't cost you a thing. I appreciate super chats. We got memberships for $2.99. $2.99. We got the Temu prices, $2.99. Come on in here. The millions dwindling down. I think I heard somebody say his money is dwindled down to about, it's like 300 some million, because he was billionaire status. Them billions ain't there no more. It was. I think it's in the millions now. Come on in. Come on in, y'all. Double tap the screen. Hit the like button. This is part 2. We have to rename the live. So this is part 2 of just the political updates centered around President Trump, the Big Beautiful Bill Act. The first live, we talked a lot about the Big Beautiful Bill Act. This live, I want to get into the visit from Ramosa. Not quite sure how he pronounces his name, but he is the president of South Africa. He came yesterday and sat with President Trump. And so we're going to talk about it. I don't know if you let me know if any of you all saw the meeting between the president of South Africa and President Trump yesterday. And a lot of people were not here for the energy that President Trump gave the president of South Africa, because the president of South Africa was just very polite. He was very polite, so people didn't feel like they said it was almost like a reminder of like how Trump treated Vladimir Zelensky when he visited the White House some months back. So if you have not seen any clips of the meeting, I definitely recommend you go check it out. So therefore you understand what I am talking about. But right now I'm getting into an article by NPR.org as they talk about the meeting and just the sentiments that people have had from what they saw during the meeting in the Oval Office yesterday. So I'll pick back up. Double tap the screen in the meantime to like the video. Most of the country's media, as well as most social media users, are praising Ramaphosa, which is the president of South Africa, or the leader of South Africa. He's the leader, for remaining calm and polite throughout what's widely been called the ambush by Trump, though some wish he had hit back harder. So this man came off as kind of mild mannered, like he was just very polite. You know, there's nothing I have bad to say about the man. He was just just polite. And it's quoted as saying, who among us did not also secretly yearn to see Ramosa fight back a little more, was the writer Rebecca Davis. Ramosa himself tried to put a positive spin on things at the press briefing on Wednesday. He said behind closed doors at lunch that followed the Oval Office drama, things had gone well. Trump might still attend a summit of the group of 20 leading rich and developing nations in Johannesburg later this year, he said, adding they had also had good trade talks. So it seems like the president, or the leader of South Africa, he wanted to still be positive, even though we saw what we saw. If you haven't seen it, you need to get into it. But while the leader of South Africa was in the White House, President Trump played like this video. It's like a compilation of events taking place in South Africa, and much of it was pretty much like radical. I guess you could say radical people just on the stage talking their talk. You didn't see any harm taking place or anything like that. It was like people like just with a microphone chanting. I don't know what they were saying because it was in another language, but it seems like it was chanting things that was like against white people, whatever. All words, like I said, all words, like many of us, like in the US or whatever country you live in, like if you all operate from a place of freedom of speech, people gonna talk, they talk. It becomes a problem when you start taking action and just putting hands and feet on. So the conversation that Trump played was basically people just verbally talking their talk, which the leader of South Africa said that they have the right. They have the right. It's a freedom of speech. They have the right to say what they want to say. He said that the things that the people were saying, that doesn't align with the messaging that the government of South Africa says. Like, that's not their message. Just like here in the USA, we got what, KKK. We have hate groups, but on the stage, you don't see government officials echoing those sentiments, whether they feel that way or not. They're not going to come out on stage and say those words, the hateful words, and just be blatant about it. You know what I'm saying? So what the leader of South Africa was saying, so after Trump played that little compilation, and at the end, he showed like this long street, and so picture like a road, and then on each side, it's just a long line of cross. So just side by side cross. So think of like hundreds of them, because I couldn't see the full span, but it was just like the street, and on both sides of the street you just have cross side by side. So just picture along the sides of each side of the road, just white cross lined up. So there's that. Now on the street, picture cars lined up behind one another on the side of the road. So not in the middle of the street, but they're like pulled off to the side. So you have your road pulled off to the side. You know how you pull over? You got cars lined up. You couldn't really even see in the image the beginning or the end where the cars started. Like you just see it, or in the same as with the cross. And he said each cross was a symbol of a life of a white farmer in South Africa. So that was part of the compilation. So after it finished, the leader of South Africa was like, where was that clip? Like, where was that? Where was that? Remember this street and this cross, because he that's home for him. He like, I ain't never seen nothing like that. Where these crosses at? Where are they? Where is that? Because he was like, I ain't never seen that before. So then Trump says, well, I don't know. It's in South Africa. Y'all, that man said, I don't know. Hell, it's in. And the leader goes on to say, well, so y'all, I'm giving y'all my encounter of what happened. You can go out there and find the clip of the leader of South Africa meeting with President Trump in the Oval Office. And they had a dialogue. So right now, I'm sharing with you what I heard from the time they watched the video, because he had a video, like a compilation played. He told them to dim the lights, and he played like this compilation of just moments of people in South Africa chanting, saying what he's alleging hateful things, because it was in another language, so I don't know what was being said, so I can't co-sign what was said. But basically it was giving that the people was saying things that wasn't favorable for white people, white South Africans. So at the end of the compilation, the South African leader was like, yo, like, where is that? Like, okay, first of all, like, people have freedom of speech over there. Like, they can say what they want to say, but our government do not condone hateful speech. We don't condone that, but people gonna say what they say. Also, he added, people in South Africa, black and white, lose their lives, which is unfortunate. He was like, Trump then added, well, but white farmers are over there losing their lives and having their farmland taken from them. And the leader of South Africa was like, okay, well, black people and white people in South Africa lose their lives, just like anywhere here in the U.S. Blacks and whites, like, it's like anybody can get it. So he said blacks and whites lose their lives. He said actually more black people lose their lives than white people over in South Africa. Trump's response was, but they're white South Africans. Trump's response was, let me wheel it back. After the leader said blacks and whites lose their lives in South Africa, Trump responds by saying, well, they're white farmers. As though because they're white, these things should not be happening to them. You saying more black people dying over there. Oh, okay, well, that's the thing for y'all. But like, this not how we roll for white people. Like, that was how I took it. Zero, you said my internet is spotty. Is it, I may have to move. Let me see. Because I don't want it. Hold on. Let me move around. Let me try to move. Let me put my battery. Hold on. Because I don't want my live to end. So I'm going to walk away from my laptop right now, so I can't read what it's saying. Can you all hear me okay? Can y'all hear me okay? Make sure y'all can hear me okay. All right. Can y'all hear me okay? Okay. So the South African leader, his message was, okay, well, black people and white people die in our country. Now, black people and white people die in our country. But maybe I need to, hold on. I'll probably shift into my house. Hold on, y'all. It'll probably be better because I don't want to lose y'all. So we're going to move into the house. Hold on. Hold on. Bear with me, y'all. Let me get my notes. because I don't want to lose this. I want the message to get out. So give me a minute as I shift around. Okay. So we good. Let me get my water and then we'll be good. Okay. All right. So plug up the phone. Yeah, I don't want it to die. Hold on. Yeah, I gotta get back situated because gotta get this message out. Oh, hey Bailey. So the leader of South Africa, he's like, well, I hear what you're saying, and you're saying, you're saying white people are dying, farmers are dying, and I'm telling you, that's not what's happening like that. That's not what's happening. And then Trump's like, well, yes, it is. It's on the internet. We're seeing the footage. We're seeing the images. It is happening. And then the leader of South Africa then says, well, here's the thing, Trump. Black people and white people in South Africa die, which is unfortunate. Trump's response was, well, they're white farmers, though. When he made that comment, I was just shook because the way I took that comment was, I hear what you're saying about your people dying, which is understandable. And that's not. So you saying your people dying at larger numbers, okay. But the fact that any of mine is dying, any of the ones that look like me is dying is a whole problem. That's how I interpreted that. That's the way he said it. It was like, it was so dismissive, as though white lives has a higher value than the black lives. So because there's any white life being taken, even if it's 10, Trump's like, it's 10 too many. Even though there was, say, 300 black lives taken, 10 white lives, it's unacceptable because they're white farmers. Like the way he said, you got to go out there and look at the clip, because that's how it ended. Like they played the video. The South African leader said, well, yeah, blacks, white people are both losing their lives. And Trump's response was, but they're white farmers, though. Like the but, why are we adding a but, like, versus you saying, okay, well, I get that. It's unfortunate. Like, but you add a but as though it's acceptable for the black people to lose their lives. But it's not acceptable for any white people to lose their life, even though the white person is losing their life is in a smaller number than the black people who are losing their life. That's what you're talking about on this internet. You F around and find out. Like, I feel like that was like my moment when I heard that. Because I've heard so many people throw out there, oh, Trump's a racist, he this and he that. And I did not share those sentiments. But I'm going to honestly say, as of late, as I've been seeing how he's been moving, in particular when it comes to the black and brown people, the illegal immigrants, in comparison to these white South Africans who have made their way over here. That's what did it for me. And I didn't see it before. But it became so blatant when I learned that the white South Africans were coming. And then when I learned the resources and things that they were receiving just literally from the time they got off the plane, where there was already resources and everything already there ready. Okay, you need your benefits, you need your health, you need your EBT, housing. Like, you know how somebody already got like everything laid out for you and the people are already there, so you ain't got to go and book no appointment to go and talk to somebody about Section 8 or talk to somebody about EBT or healthcare. No, when these people arrive, these resources was already there standing, waiting to assist them with all that they will need with being now in the US. Like everything that we need to function, like they had people there that was readily available to help them with those things. Meanwhile, we're seeing repeatedly people here being rounded up and placed in detention centers until they can get flued out because they're here illegally, or a lot of these people are here from programs that previous administrations allowed for them to come over through. So what's the difference between somebody, a Venezuelan, coming over here through the program that Biden laid out to the program that he has laid out to support whatever his reasoning for why the South Africans can come over here? What's the difference? What's the difference? What makes the Venezuelan who got approval from Biden to come over here different than the white South African who got the approval from Trump to come over here? Nobody's an American citizen. Did I just say that the Venezuelan is an American citizen? And the white South African is an American citizen. What's the difference outside of skin tone? What's the difference? Neither one group snuck into our country. The people who I'm describing, the thousands of Venezuelans, it's like about 350,000 of them that the Senate just approved for Trump to have them to be returned home, for their stay to be shortened because they were here on some type of like program and things through Biden administration because they were going through some things back home that had it unfavorable living conditions for them, just like the South Africans. You see what I'm saying? See, the South Africans, their story is things weren't favorable for them back home. People trying to get us, people trying to get me, people trying to take from me. But you all, that's the story of a lot of brown people, black people who are here from other countries as well. Somebody after me, somebody trying to get me. We had natural catastrophe, like it's not good living conditions. So the Biden administration said, hey, you can come over here. He told them, hey, back in 2021, you can come over here through, I think 2026, October 2026 is when that program was supposed to end. But Trump got the approval to have it to end early. So now these people have to leave now. So right now it's Venezuelans, but come the summer, I think it's August, it's going to be Haitians. There's going to be thousands of Haitians who have to leave. So my thing is, I'm all about like just being fair. Like, to me, it's not fair that the black and brown people have to leave and raise up out of here, even though a lot of them were over here through programs from the previous administration. And remember, he's the one at the beginning of the year that says we're freezing, we're putting a halt on allowing for people to come over here, or even those who are already over here, they have to go back because we cannot, our economy, our government, we cannot afford to take care of them. I was here for that. I'm like, yes, I'm. But for you to say no to all of these hundreds of thousands, however many people it is, but though the white South Africans who came about a week ago, it's about a good 50 of them that came, they get the yes. Because you said genocide was taking place over there. But peep this, you all. Prior to the people coming over here, the white South Africans coming over here, he said genocide was taking place. Do y'all know when they asked that man yesterday at that White House if based off of whatever he sees genocide, he then said, oh, I don't know. Oh, so now that you got the people over here on the damn lie, now that they over here, you don't know if it's a genocide taking place. because you was trying to get him over here. Now you done got him over here. Now you saying, oh, well, I don't know if it's a genocide. But you know it ain't no genocide. Stop playing. If you don't stop playing in my face. If you do not stop playing in my face. I told you I've had my F around to find out moment when it comes to this man. You're playing games. You're not even talking the same language or the same lingo because you got what you wanted, which was to have those people come over here. Now all of a sudden, well, I don't know if it's a genocide. Just a week and a half ago, oh, it was a genocide all day long, which is why they had to come over here. Now you saying, oh, I don't know. Y'all, he was saying, y'all, it's on record. That man said it might be in this article I'm reading. They asked him if it was a genocide. His response was, well, I don't know. Oh, okay. Okay. So let's talk about that video that I told you. He showed the leader of South Africa this compilation, and in it had this long line like of crosses, white crosses that he said symbolizes the death of a white farmer. Y'all, it was a lot. I'm like, damn, they killing them white people getting taken out like that. Y'all, it was so many crosses. Like, y'all know how like sometimes in the military movies, like you'll see for the representation of like vets or people who lost their lives, and they'll have like the long line of crosses. Like picture that. This is what it was looking like, y'all, over there in South Africa. It looked like it was probably more crosses than probably the population of the white South Africans. Yo, it was so many crosses. So listen to this is what I'm hearing now as a result of what's coming out centered around that part of the compilation, because it was like the end of it. Y'all got to go out there and look at it. This article I'm reading, you all go to npr.org. The debunking information. It says, despite the South African delegation's attempt to explain the facts to the U.S. leader, Trump again and again repeated a right-wing conspiracy theory that there was a systematic persecution and genocide of white South Africans using disinformation to support his allegations. He misrepresented a video showing a protest where people placed white crosses in the field to commemorate a farmer and his wife who were murdered in 2020 in a 2020 home robbery. As a burial site. The South African news site News 24 said there are no bodies at the site, and the number of crosses do not relate to the number of killings. This that ish that I'm talking about. He told the people, y'all, in the Oval Office, y'all go look at it. This man said, y'all, anybody in here seen it? Did y'all see what I seen? He showed the video is a compilation. You had different Africans, black Africans, chanting, saying whatever they was saying. I didn't know what they was saying, but the way they was kicking it is though they was saying things that were hateful against white South Africans. All right, then. To close out the compilation, he showed this long street with a bunch of white crosses that he said symbolizes the death of every white South African farmer who was murdered in South Africa because of the color of their skin. Dr. J, you said you seen it. That's what he said, y'all. I ain't making this ish up. Go on out there and watch it. Find that YouTube clip of President Trump in South Africa. President Trump and the South African leader watching the video. He told them, one of these reporters like, I didn't know you can dim the lights in the Oval Office. He told them, hit the lights. And they had a whole movie experience. So come to find out, y'all, those crosses did not represent an individual life. Those crosses were there to commemorate a farmer and his wife who were murdered. So that's just two people. One farmer and his wife who were murdered in 2020 during a home robbery. Trump also played clips of two controversial South African opposition politicians who in no way speak for the government, singing songs from the struggle against apartheid, including one called Kill the Boer, which means Afrikaner or farmer. One of the politicians, firebrand Julius Malema, heads a flailing opposition party that won just over 9.5% of the votes in last year's elections. Trump asked why he wasn't arrested. In fact, Malema was taken to court on charges of hate speech for singing the song at rallies, and the Constitutional Court ruled the singing of the song was protected by freedom of speech. Now, y'all, Trump then told this doggone man who done flew. Y'all know them. That'd be a long flight coming from South Africa. So I bet he did wait and get his meal. He wasn't fit to be on Zelensky and be too damn mad to stay and get that free meal. So he worked through whatever emotions he had centered around President Trump, and he stuck around and got that meal. But Trump then told this man that, okay, these rallies, these things, these people are doing wrongful things, and they're encouraging for people to do harm onto white South Africans. Just like the USA, South Africa have the citizens there are protected by freedom of speech. So like I said, it's no different than say we have our hate groups here in the US. We got a KK. We got all kinds of stuff popping off here in the USA. But as long as you don't touch nobody, you can talk your talk, but just don't listen. As long as you talk your talk over there, don't come over here in my space. Don't come in my home. Don't touch my property. Don't touch me. But you can have all whatever kind of lip service you want, because that's protected by freedom of speech. Malema seems to have delighted in his 15 minutes of Oval Office fame, posting on X, a group of older men gathered in Washington to gossip about me. Trump later handed Ramosa a bunch of printed articles that said that he had said showed death, horrible death. News outlets in South Africa, as well as the Agence France press news agency, studied the article and found somewhere from partisan blogs and unsubstantiated online resources. One article Trump held up saying it was about the white farmers being burned was in fact about the Democratic Republic Congo. So as people talk about sources, he the whole president with a slew of people around him to do whatever research that needs to be done, whatever investigation. Listen, he got the whole FBI, everybody roll up to him. How is he not using accurate information as he present to the world, to this leader from another country about what's popping off in a country? It's that part for me. This makes no sense. It makes no sense. About the golfers. So whatever one's take on the meeting, it has dominated social media feeds. White South African right-wing groups and MAGA commentators applaud Trump for repeating their talking points on race relations. Some far-left groups denounced Ramosa for bringing white South African businessmen and golf stars along to the meeting. So the white South African leader, the black South African leader he had white representation too. He wanted to show that it's not about color. We know how to play with others in the sandbox. We got black people doing it, and we got white people doing a doggone thing. So this thing where you think we out to get white folks, that's a lie. That's not true. That is not true. So that's why he brought white people who they rock with, who they work with, to be there to share their testimony, to be like, no, this is not how it is over there. It's not like what they're saying. This is not how it is. Ramosa and Trump are both avid golfers, and the presence of former number one Ernie Els and two-time U.S. Open champion Retief Goosen was a tactic the South African team hoped would diffuse tension at the meeting. So this man didn't even come from smoke. Like, he didn't come for that. Els is a personal friend of Trump's and is reported to have helped Ramosa get the White House meeting. Also present was South Africa's richest man, business mogul Johann Rupert, also a white Afrikaner and a friend of both presidents. Y'all, white people in South Africa are still the dominant when it comes to economic wealth, when it comes to just power with, the people who sits in the seats to control things. Like, they're still the dominant group of people. So yes, you're going to have some, like anywhere, like here, white people are still a dominant group of people here. But you have white people who lose their life just like black, Asian, Hispanic. So just because you got some that lose their life, it doesn't automatically translate into, oh, white people in US are down bad because there was some lives, some white men lives who were lost. White people are still getting to the money. White people are still leading. Like, what we doing here? Stop playing crazy, Trump. Stop playing crazy. Elle seemed to support Trump's narrative of white persecution, referring to the apartheid era, but adding, I don't think two wrongs make a right. So again, like I said, it's almost like, okay, well, y'all black folks, y'all can die. I mean, y'all, yeah, hell, y'all been dying. But us white, we need to preserve our life. We can't die like that. Like I don't know. Listen, we can't die. So Trump is just making this huge big thing because maybe there's been some lives lost. I'm pretty sure there's white people over there who lost their lives, but there's black people over there who lost their lives too. So we ain't seeing him. He's still trying to send these black ones that's over here from Africa back on over there from Haiti or whatever, and help they over there losing their lives, but it ain't. You got Muslims, people here who come from Muslim countries or Latin countries, and they losing their lives. But he's still saying, well, you guys to still leave. So what are we doing? Why is it okay that they can come over here for the sake of preserving their lives, but the people who are here have to go back home, and you don't have no regard to preserving their lives? Like that, it's that part for me, y'all. I don't know. This is just, y'all, when I told y'all to have my F around to find out moment, like this is what it's given to me. He also thanked the U.S. for supporting South Africa during its war with Angola. But as social media users were quick to point out, that support had been for the old apartheid regime. The Daily Maverick journalist wrote that the men were talented golfers, but what the hell do they have to do with the international relations? Reporters asked Ramosa after the meeting if the golfers should not have been better prepped. He defended them as patriots, but admitted they could have been. They could have been. What is particularly galling to many is Trump's derisive treatment of the head of state of the constitutional democracy. Several local newspaper articles pointed out he doesn't treat authoritarian leaders with dubious human rights records like he treated the South African president. There's an article out here, you all, on Reuters.com. It says Trump's image of the dead white farmers came from Reuters footage in Congo, not South Africa. So remember that man, the leader of South Africa, said, Trump, like, where did you find that? Because I've never seen that. I've never seen a street where there's white cross going up and down. Like, where did you sign it? Trump shrugged it off and said, oh, I don't know. And then this is what he said. He said, I don't know. And then seconds later says, it's somewhere in South Africa. But Reuters.com, go to Reuters.com. The article reads, Trump's image of dead white farmers came from Reuters footage in Congo, not South Africa. What are we doing, sir? Like, really, what are we doing? What are we doing? This that stuff I'm talking about. Is this that stuff I'm talking about? In fact, the video published by Reuters on February 3rd and subsequently verified by the news agency Fact Check Them Again showed humanitarian workers lifting body bags in the Congolese city of Goma. The image was pulled from Reuters footage shot following deadly battles with Rwanda-backed Pt.2 rebels. Y'all, this didn't have nothing to do with South Africa. The blog post showed to Ramosa by Trump during the White House meeting was published by American Thinker, a conservative online magazine about conflict and racial tension in South Africa and Congo. The post did not caption the image, but identified it as a YouTube screen grab. with a link to a video news report about Congo on YouTube, which credited Reuters. The White House did not respond to a request to comment. Y'all, they tried to ask Caroline about that today. She got mad. There was a reporter, a black woman, a reporter at the White House today, and she questioned Caroline about the images, the footage that Trump showed to everybody, the world, because we could watch it, it's out there, and to the South African leader. And she was like, do y'all feel bad about? Caroline would not let that woman talk. She would not let that woman get her thoughts out. She was so rude to that woman. It was a black woman. And she was like, and quite frankly, I'm just appalled basically for you even raising it as a question. Those white people over there are losing their, y'all. She did not address like these things, because at the time when I was listening to her speak, I did not know that it had already been shown that it was a lie dealing with those, with the crosses. I didn't know that yet. So, but apparently that black woman knew that. Caroline shut her down, was like, listen, I am appalled that you even raised this as a question. White Africans, white South Africans, they are over there dying because of the color of their skin. Y'all, this lady went down. Yes. The White House did not respond to the request for comment. Andrea Wilberg, managing editor at the American Thinker and the author of the post in question, wrote and replied to Reuters' query that Trump had misidentified the image. Caroline ain't came out when she was at that press conference. She didn't do no corrections or nothing. She straight snapped on that woman and basically told her the audacity for her to even question what President Trump has said in regards to these white South Africans, and he showed the proof that these people are dying. Listen, she was so rude to that woman, and Caroline looked like she was just upset the fact that she got called out for the nonsense of her president. Like, basically, she had to speak to it. He wasn't there. See, she got to say whatever her roses. So she copped the whole attitude with that woman. She added, however, that the post, which referred to what is called Ramosa's dysfunctional, race-obsessed Marxist government, had pointed out the increasing pressure placed on white South Africans. The footage from which the picture was taken shows a mass burial following an M23 assault in Goma, filmed by Reuters video journalist Jafar Al-Katanti. Excuse me. That day, it was extremely difficult for journalists to get in. I had to negotiate directly with M23 and coordinate with the IRC to be allowed to film. So, y'all, let me show you. So, this is really what was, you see all of this, like what Trump showed as he linked it to South Africa and the white farmers that have been allegedly killed over there. This image that you all see, this was really what that was. Was that, like, it had nothing to do with what Trump said. Like, y'all, this is a whole nother situation. But Trump then hijacked, he done hijacked the story and made it into something else. This that issue I'm talking about. This what I'm talking about. He done hijacked it, y'all, and made it into something completely different. In view of the world, President Trump used my image, used what I filmed in DRC to try to convince President Ramosa that in his country, white people are being killed by black people. Ramosa visited Washington this week to try to mend ties with the U.S. after President criticized Trump in recent months over South Africa's land laws, foreign policy, and alleged bad treatment of white minorities, which South Africa denies. Y'all done showed y'all why they deny it. It was a lie. I've been reporting it on my channel that it was a whole lie. We got receipts. We got proof. The Trump administration haven't come out to address these claims, that these allegations that the images and things that he used was taken from something else and not centered around what he says it was, with white farmers' lives being taken in South Africa. Like, these images ain't got nothing to do with that. Like, he done created a whole narrative to get these people over here. And there are more to come. And they sticking with the lie. Caroline copped a whole attitude with that black woman when she tried to call her on the nonsense. It had the nerve to flip it and be like up as a question. Damn, rolled her eyes. Trump interrupted the television meeting with Ramosa to play a video which he said showed evidence of genocide of white farmers in South Africa. The conspiracy theory, which has circulated in far-right chat rooms for years and is based on false claims. Trump then proceeded to flip through printed copies of articles that he said detail murders of white South Africans, saying, death, 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 horrible death. Y'all. Golden said, right, the South African president couldn't recognize the video played. He was like, where is this? He live in South Africa. He know his country. Like, I don't even know that's where that came from. Y'all, he recognized him. He was like, where is that? Because I ain't never seen that before. It's like y'all coming from where you know your hometown, wherever, and somebody showing you some footage, and you know your streets, you know your neighborhood, and you like, where is that? Because I'm born and raised there.